Okay, Kevin McCloskey, Billy Woodward, Stable Talk, Week 2, Billy. Not kind of a demoralizing night. The Stallions fall to 0-2, but it was the way they fell tonight by a score of 36-7 to a very good team of Bulldogs from Wallace Rose Hill, but 36-7, it was a tough one.
Tough ball game for the Stallions all the way around. Again, another game where the Stallions did not score offensively. This came on the backs of the defense this time, recovering a fumble out of a move the pile situation of a week ago. Only the Stallions came out with the pile this time and ran for the touchdown, and that's the only score, and it's on the defense.
Yeah, I know at halftime the Bulldogs pretty much dominated the first half as they did the second half, but at halftime we're only down 16-7 thanks to, as you said, as the Bulldogs were driving down the field, a long fumble recovery by Jariq got us to win 16-7, thinking, hey, we get the ball to start the second half, we still got a chance, but the Bulldogs were having nothing over. Their defensive front was dominant, in my opinion.
Well, they played on both sides of the ball. I'm sorry, Southwest was playing a lot on both sides of the ball. Wallace Rose Hill has got the dogs, and they did not have to do that as much as that way. Also, in the second half, they brought in some extra dogs out of the doghouse in the backfield also, and had a great depth. They've got them just like the Stallions in the years past when we had all the horses in the stables, and we still have some, but it's time we'll grow on, and we'll do that. A lot of growing pains for this team. If they will stay together and listen to the coaches and keep going and move forward, we should do all right by the time we get to the conference. What's our chances of going 0-4 for the beginning of the season? It could be. I think, though, we could come away with a victory next week at White Oak, but the Stallions have got to do something offensively and get that offense moving in order to get that W. We can't depend on the defense the entire time.
Well, let's talk about some positives. Last week we mentioned how if we thought the Stallions would hold on to the ball, would be all right. 6 fumbles last week, 1 interception. This week, 0 turnovers, forced 2, so that's a positive. Another positive was the defense, giving up 36 points, but golly, they were put in some tough situations, so giving up 36 points in a game like this wasn't all that bad.
For the Stallions, they poor field position most of the time when they got the ball, and then they didn't help themselves with penalties backing them up even further at times. Only one time did they even get across to start a first down possession in Wallace Rose Hill territory, and that was at the Wallace Rose Hill 48 late in the game. So poor field position, but they put themselves in those situations.
Yeah. Next week, you mentioned we'll travel across town to White Oak, weather permitting. We don't know what that's going to happen with that storm, but White Oak and Richlands were in a dogfight tonight, so either White Oak's probably better than I thought, or Richlands might not be as good. But either way, they're struggling, and next week is going to tell a lot about this team.
I think it's going to be a whole lot better next week to tell something about this team when you get over there to the Vikings. It's ironic. Last year this time we were celebrating the victory at Wallace Rose Hill and talking about a hurricane maybe coming in, and here we are a year later. Wallace Rose Hill is here. They beat us this time, but we're talking about the possibilities of another hurricane coming in this coming week or so, or the rains from it anyhow. We hope not.
Yes. No matter what, everybody keep your eyes out and stay safe. We're going to wrap this up, and hopefully we'll see you next Friday night over at White Oak and get the first Stallion victory on the year. So we're going to call it a night. Kevin and Billy saying good night. Take care.